Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when and where you may be listening to this one. My name is Nick Gumpert. I'm the Fire FC Education Coordinator, and I wanted to host this Parent Summit just to keep all of our parents and members educated and informed on what it is the club is doing currently, what we have done in the prior fall season now that we're upon the new 2025 year, and what you have to look forward to come spring 2025. So let's get started with our rec families with regards to this specific presentation. Here are things you need to know looking back on the fall of 2024. Let's first start with a question that we get asked a lot. How can I bring my costs down? Know that you can become a referee, and if you ref 10 games, then it will cover half of your registration fee. Contact Chris Day. His info is here on this slide. He's very responsive. So this is one way that you can help minimize those registration costs. Also, you can volunteer. We have the GMIT. It's our annual soccer tournament we host every May. We have tryouts in May for most of our club teams. We also have tryouts in November for our high school boys teams because they play club in the springtime. We have our golf tournament that's held in July. And then you have rec weekends that we need volunteers to help facilitate and just be a resource more than anything else. So when your kid or kids are not playing, you're more than welcome to volunteer your time, and that can be a way to offset your registration fees. And when it comes to reffing resources, know that you're not alone. You're not just given a whistle and say, go figure it out. We do have in-house reffing education, so just be mindful that Chris Day and Tom Lilpop help facilitate these learning opportunities to put you in the best situation to succeed. Looking back on the fall season, we did have Brianna Gumpert. If that last name sounds familiar, that is my wife. She has been hired by the club to be our rec coordinator to help facilitate volunteer opportunities. So again, if you're interested or someone you know is interested in volunteering on weekends, she is the point person for facilitating those situations. Understand too, if you're a parent that you're just like, don't care to volunteer, but what is her role exactly? She helps facilitate pods out on the weekends of all rec games to be, again, a resource for parents to say, where are these fields at? If you have your parents coming into town, if you have friends coming into town to watch your kid or kids play games, she helps facilitate those. You have an issue with the opposing coach because they were just being rude, or maybe it was your coach. So you're just like, I need to talk to somebody about this. We have pods set up, and again, Brianna Gumpert help facilitates that information to be shared so you don't have to just keep it in or vent it all out via a long email. You can get to someone in person at the fields if there is an issue to be dealt with in person. And we also have signage. We have signage at those pods. You can drop into our website via that signage, and it just helps facilitate, again, shoot, I forgot what time we play next or next weekend. Those are there, again, for your resources. We had our Fall Fest October 5th. That was a great success. We had many kids and families attend. We had bounce houses out there. We had some food trucks out there. We had balloon art out there. We had resources like the Mental Podcast. That's one that I personally helped put together for youth to be a resource to help build their mental skills. So I was out there. Community Hospital, a major sponsor of ours, was out there to answer any questions that rec families may have when it comes to injury prevention or dealing with injuries because maybe your kid's already going through them. So just know that we're looking to replicate that next year, but that was something that was a great success from this past fall. Wanted to share with you all. So if this is the first time you're hearing of it, again, it'll be that first weekend of October most likely come 2025, but that was a great opportunity for us to just kind of give back to the community. That was really the purpose of it, give back to our community and just facilitate a fun day. That was out at Canyon View Park. In-house coaching education. This is also a space that I help facilitate for Fire FC, and just know if you or someone you know is a rec coach, you're more than welcome to be a part of these rec coaching education opportunities. Matt and Danny help facilitate these as well as technical directors, but they're, again, open to anybody and everybody. So if that's a space you or someone you know is like, I want more, how can I get more? And I don't want to have to travel to Denver or some other city to get it. We have these opportunities for you. Here's where we are. Play Metrics. It's a new online platform to register your kid or kids. You do need to create a new account. The silver lining of this is once you've done so, it just helps facilitate the registration process for all programming and makes it a little bit easier. So I know it's one more thing to do, but make sure you do it because this is something that we are not anticipating to move off of anytime soon, but it does require you to take the little bit of time to get the appropriate and correct information inserted for your son or daughter when it comes to the registration process. So if you haven't done so already, please do that. Winter programming for players. You can go to gjsoccer.org. That'll give you all the programming that you'll have questions for, to say what's offered in the rec space. But again, go to gjsoccer.org and that'll be able to answer your questions. February 10th, that is your registration deadline for the spring 2025 rec season. February 10th. If your kid is interested, they can. It's on a first come first serve basis, so they can get on the same team. But again, you have to make these deadlines to make sure you solidify your spot if you're looking to keep the same coach and or same group of players. So reach out to those friends of your son or daughter as well and make sure they do the same. And that way that improves the odds of you staying within that same dynamic if that's a dynamic that you enjoyed and your kid enjoyed. What does the next level look like? I alluded to this a little bit. You have the 9-10 level up. You also have finishing clinics. So this is another opportunity where kids are just scoring a bunch of goals, a bunch of different ways. Our professional paid staff help facilitate these opportunities. So I would encourage you to at least explore and ask questions here if your son or daughter are enjoying the game of soccer and saying, I want a little bit more. What does a little bit more look like? Maybe you give a call in the office. They're open. They have staff there from Tuesday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So either drop by in person or give them a call, 242-4550, and someone will be able to facilitate your questions if you have any. Also, a snapshot of where we are, club communication. We have our website. It has been redesigned. We're continuing to keep it updated. That is gjsoccer.org. So it's the same domain name, but we've updated the look of it and tried to help streamline how to find things a little bit better. So hopefully you can see that side of things when you're searching for things. Know that we have a social media. We have multiple social media accounts. We have a YouTube channel. We have an Instagram handle. We have a Facebook page. So you can find us on any or all of these platforms. We just help share information. We like to share your wins. And so please share them because we want to share not just on the field, but off the field. If your kid has made an accomplishment or a friend, we're happy to share those stories. We have a monthly newsletter. So just be on the lookout for this. We share it via the website. We share it via email and social media. So again, we just want to find ways to keep you in the loop and meet you where you are and not say, hey, come find us somehow, some way. We have these parent summits 2 times a year. I'm getting this out in the first weekend of December 2024. And be on the lookout and come May 2025. That'll be the next one. Again, just to keep you in the loop and keep communication lines open with regards to what the club is doing. And if you ever have any questions, email gjsoccerinfo@gmail.com. You can get any questions answered there as they pop up. So looking forward to the spring we have our in-house coaching education for rec coaches. That'll probably be early March that Ryan and I will facilitate that. We have our rec tourney in April 2025. We had a very good kickoff and inaugural rec tourney last spring. It fielded over 50 teams. So if that's, again, something more, you don't have to do it. Your team doesn't have to do it. But if you're looking for something more, this is a great opportunity to not have to travel for it and maybe get a little bit different varying competition within that. And then looking forward to spring 2025. I know I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Nonetheless, wanted to drop that we are going to be having another golf tournament. We always host it in late July. So don't quote me out on the 28th, but do quote me for Adobe Creek. So if you're interested in sponsoring or know somebody that is, we're happy to have those conversations if interested. So content, I alluded to this earlier, but we want to share those wins of your sons and daughters out there. So feel free to drop us a line. Again, that's info@gmail.com, and happy to share those pictures, those stories, however you're comfortable sharing them. Stick around if you have a son or daughter involved in the competitive space. Otherwise, checking out for now. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Hey, competitive families. My name is Nick Gumpert. I'm the education coordinator for Fire FC. Let's get started and recap where we've been, where we are, and where we're headed as a club in the competitive landscape. Looking back at the fall, This is a question we get asked often. How can I ease my costs for my competitive player or players that are involved with Fire FC? Well, number one, you can get involved by reffing. So reach out to Chris Day. His contact information is here, and we're happy to facilitate these opportunities for you to cut costs and bring down those costs in terms of this trade-off. But know that there are ways to do so. You can also volunteer. We have our GMIT that's held in May. We have tryouts in May and November. We have the golf tournament in July. We have our rec weekends just throughout the spring and fall seasons respectively that we need volunteers for. So there are multiple opportunities to volunteer and give up some of your time to try to cut those costs a little bit. So that's all dependent on you and what you and or your significant other are willing to put some time in to do. But just know that we do facilitate opportunities to ease those costs where possible. Again, Chris Day will be your best point of contact when it comes to the reffing. Feel free to reach out to gjsoccer.info@gmail.com, and we can facilitate any other questions pertaining to the volunteering opportunity. Know that if you become a referee, or maybe your son or daughter wants to make a little extra money on the side, we do host in-house reffing education. So it's not something that we just give you or them a whistle and say, have at it, go figure it out. We educate as best we can to make things and set people up for as much success as we possibly can, and make sure we keep that on a local level as best as we can. Looking back at fall 2024, we had Level Up that continues to max out, formerly known as PDP. Our Level Up program facilitates those from age 5 to age 10 before they head off potentially into our competitive programming. We had multiple JPL events here in these fall months. Those were exciting and new barriers that many of our teams participated in. So that was great to see us compete on a national level against different teams, different states, and be able to have an opportunity to play for a national championship. The JPL events have gone great so far. We have another one turning the corner in 2025. So keep an eye out and an ear out for that information to come. Sports Psych. We've had Voices Affect Choices. We had that one in August. We had Comparing versus Competing in October. And we'll have one on leadership in a short amount of time here later this month. You can find all of these on our YouTube channel. Just search for GJ Soccer on YouTube, and you can go back and rewatch or listen to any of those prior sports psych sessions for your kid. If you're a parent watching this right now, make sure those aren't the only times those conversations are had. How can you find ways to integrate those conversations around the dinner table, just around the house, right? And have those one-on-one conversations with your kid. Dig into those a little bit more, because those become personal to you and where you guys are at based on the age that they're at. Know that we have in-house coaching education. If you're that volunteer coach or you're that curious parent, just like, what do they talk about? We have these opportunities every month. Matt and Danny help facilitate them as well as technical directors of the club. I circle back with them, again, just to facilitate and create opportunities for our coaches to continue to grow. For a snapshot of where we are competitive landscape-wise, we do have a new registration platform. It's Playmetrics. You should have seen multiple emails be communicated already about this. If you have not taken the time to create a new portfolio or profile, if you will, make sure you take the time to do so. It will just help you register for programming for all future registration purposes and make it easier. So please take the time to do that. Evals for players, I say, and parents, just to keep you in the loop. So be on the lookout for that. That should be coming, if it hasn't already, from your coach or coaches. Winter training options should have been communicated already. Just know you can go to gjsoccer.org for any questions you may have pertaining to the programming. We have the 9-10 level up for competitive players. We have the finishing clinic. We have 7v7 indoor, and we have a few other programs I know that I didn't put down here specifically, but go to gjsoccer.org and you can get the latest information when it comes to all of our winter programming options for your son and or daughters. Club communication, we have updated our website, same domain name though, gjsoccer.org. Hopefully you feel that streamlined information and where to find things and made it a little bit easier. Nonetheless, just know that we have the website when we communicate. We have social media, we have Facebook, we have an Instagram handle, we have a YouTube channel. So if you feel like you've missed something, or you're just like, wait, you heard about this for the first time, just know these avenues are there to try to meet you where you're at more often, so you don't have to come find us in the one space and place that we live. We also have a monthly newsletter that we share via the website, via email, and via social media. We have these parent summits 2 times a year. Again, you can always email us at gjsoccerinfo@gmail.com. When those random questions pop up for you or your significant other, you're just like, wait, what should we be looking out for right now? Just give us an email there and we'll be happy to answer those questions. Looking forward to the spring. I missed it, didn't I? Spring 2025. We will have our golf tournament come the end of July. So if you or someone you know is looking to sponsor that, we're happy to have those conversations. Ryan Ayrton, our general manager, can help spearhead those conversations and answer any questions you may have there. JPL events, those are going to be coming back come the spring 2025. Fire FC fee structure updates. We had those updates that we shared in our last parent summit. So if this is news to you, feel free to reach out to Sean, and he's happy to answer any questions you may have regarding fee structures and any changes. But nothing to come spring 2025. I just wanted to keep this on there because for some it's news, but this will come our next parent summit. Content, we love celebrating you and your kids' wins. If they've done something off the field especially, we're happy to share it. In the classroom, academically, some of the programs that they may do outside of soccer. Feel free to share those things because we love to share those stories if you're willing to share them with us.